installing the booster out there. Filter renovations are done, look great. They did a fantastic job. And both of our staff went to intense training for the certification and took the certification exams. Don't know if they passed. One was grade 2 and the other grade 1. Clarification or question?
I see in the press release for the efficiency project, it specifically states Mariposa only. When we discussed this in the past, I thought we said that since we're a district that encompasses 2 counties, our water efficiency program will encompass both counties. Is that correct, or did I misinterpret?
Tell me.
Page 5.
Got that.
It says it's a Mariposa, linked on page where CSD has awarded a contract to the Mariposa County Conservation District to implement a county-wide water efficiency education rebate program. To me, if it's coming from Mariposa, it's being initiated by Mariposa, this says that it's for Mariposa only.
Take a look at the revisions to the water conservation page and the teaser on the homepage.
I saw the Tuolumne on our homepage. It talks about Tuolumne has a program in place.
Except there's been an update since then.
Okay.
So
it was a few days ago I looked, so.
Okay, if it doesn't make it clear,
Okay.
then I'll make some other changes, but that was this IRWIP goes to both sides.
That's what I thought.
The entire Lake Don Pedro service area.
Correct. Okay.
Plus Mariposa County only.
Okay.
The TUD rebate goes to all of Tuolumne County, basically.
Okay.
The thing we've got to think about there is if they've got money to give away and ours is going fast, we want to encourage people to use that program too.
We want Tuolumne people to go to Tuolumne if they can and not get
But so we've got kind of an education there we've got to.
So this product right here is not what's going out. Is this product going out?
It's already out.
Okay,
Yeah.
and my concern is it says that it's from Mariposa County and it talks about a county-wide water efficiency program. From Mariposa County, county-wide implies Mariposa only. I just want to be careful. We're getting grant money for this. I want to be careful that we're putting it out there correctly.
Well, it's definitely correctly for the grant money.
Okay.
But from a communication perspective, it probably could have been better. You know what I mean?
I just want to make sure. I will look back and see what the website says, because that's really what people are looking on. So
we're likely going to see there's funding in this to do distribution of information, so we might want to make it specific, a specific Don Pedro flyer that says, here's what it is. I think we want to get the rebates figured out first.
Sure.
Exactly.
Okay.
The process include
Well, I'll take a look at it, as long as you can look at it as well. Make sure we're clear that it does encompass both counties. That's really what it's all about.
Okay.
By the way, Pete, thank you for clearing up the homepage of conservation.
Yeah. It's
A question. You mentioned TUD. The problem with the TUD, it only applies, the rebates only apply to the customers only, nobody else.
That's not true. They're doing it because there are a lot of people that are on wells, and that's what this was intended to do, and it's also the same in Mariposa.
I talked to the management of TUD, and the answer was only applies to their customers, period. Nobody else.
But this doesn't impact our conservation money is for everybody within our district and Mariposa County. So that's open up to everybody. So that's a different,
Well, we were directed by the IRWIP folks and the Tuolumne Tuolumne Stanislaus IRWIP that this money was for throughout the region of Tuolumne Stanislaus, because it was a grant that was written for that whole region, And so it was, we were directed from the IRWIMP to put it on the website because it was going countywide, whether you were a customer of a utility or not. So I'll have to confirm that. I'll let you know. Thanks, Mr.
Mr. President?
You can get that information from my mother-in-law, it's right there every day.
Yes.
I was wondering, would it be fair to say that our filter repairs were just under $500,000?
I don't think, my recollection,
Yeah.
we were around 300,000, not a 500,000, Lou. I think it was 300,000, if I'm not, and that's.
So it's like 150 apiece.
Yeah, I think that's my best guess from my memory. I can't tell you offhand, Bill, but I want to say
Why weren't those checked immediately in 2014?
They were.
When we had a new GM with
They were.
the experience with those
Yeah,
filters.
they were checking them. They were doing the inspections. I know, because we talked about that, there was a lady here helping when, I think her name was Brenda,
Yeah, Brenda Selden.
Yeah, she went and showed them how, and they were inspecting and they just kind of failed. I mean, they were doing different things, so. Yeah.
Well, I found in our records that in 1995, Mr. Kampa stated that they were in such dire need of repair, they were distracting him from his other duties, and he was going to devote his time necessary for the repairs. However, our website currently states under project updates that the filters were not repaired until after he left, with the completion date only vaguely estimated between the years 1998 and 2003.
Well, I don't know about that one, but I will go back and say, when we had Ralph here for the couple of years, they were doing the inspections, and I know that they moved away from having, I'll say, outside inspectors.
Right, yeah, I read that.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that Mr. Kampa had personal experience with them failing in 1995 and was going to make the corrections, yet nothing happened until long after he was gone. So when he came back in 2014, it's like, maybe you should have gone, oh wait, we had trouble with these before, maybe we better check them now. And I guess that wasn't done.
Well,
And because, as I recall, the board said, because of the emergency nature of it, it cost us a lot more money than if they had been maintained properly.
I think that they just failed, in my opinion.
Let's go over this on the agenda.
Yeah, that's fine.
We'll put it on because there's a good story to tell.
Okay. I'll make note of it. Thank you.
Okay, now, I've got a question on that money too, so we're gonna have it on the agenda?
Yes, we'll put the filter.
Okay. On this agenda? No answer?
We'll put the filter project and provide an update.
Okay, well, can I ask this one question then?
Well, is it financial or what?
It's financial, yeah,
Let's
because,
get to the financials. Let's get through the reports, because the financials are on here, and I think that'd be a great time to address it. Yes.
Are we going to discuss Randy's report?
Yes, because I think Pete will cover Randy's report. And are you done with yours, Pete? Okay.
Does Randy's report encompass this memo from the SWRCB? Is that covered in yours?
It's in mine. I just referenced it. I thought I referenced it in there, just saying that was included.
Okay, I'm sorry. Okay,
No,
go ahead, Jim.
That's why I just wanted to
This is
clarify.
pages 6 and 7, is that what you want to talk about?
Yes,
Okay.
specifically I see it talks about the nuts and bolts of it. The state did a review on the wells, and some of their concerns from what I saw was that they were in a chain link enclosure, that they weren't locked and things like that. I've noticed for quite some time here in the past 2 or 3 months that one of the wells, the chain link fence is completely down. So
Which
do we
well
have-
specifically?
I don't know the names of the wells. It's on Ranchito.
The original Ranchito well.
I don't know which is which.
As you come up from Merced Falls Road.
It's off of Banderia, you take the left, and it's the first well you come to.
Ranchito 1.
So that's Ranchito one?
That was the one that was.
So that's the one they were
replaced.
fixing?
Yes.
Got it, I can understand. I wasn't sure what
Yeah.
well's what, that's really what it boils down
Right.
to. But the fence is still down, and my only cause for concern is if we stretch this out, I know it's been a month or 2 that fence has been down. My biggest concern would be if we have a car decide to come through there and go off the road, it's a cow in the road or whatever, we're gonna shear off a wellhead, we're gonna have some big issues, so.
Well, besides the liability,
Just the operational side of it, I know prior to that as well, that I was driving by a couple of the wells and I didn't see padlocks on the gates. Obviously, to the SWRCD, that's important that these fences are up and that they're locked so people can't have access. If we could put it in the hands of our capable managers, our operations folks, to make sure that the wells are protected as necessary. And the only reason I keyed in on that is because it talked about it in this report from the SWRCD.
It's also discussed in the threat assessments.
I'm sure there's
Threat assessments
something
with this
with Homeland
terrorism
security
stuff.
and all kinds of
Oh,
stuff.
yeah, oh, yeah.
It's probably very detailed.
Okay. Anything else, sir?
No.
Okay. All right, thank you, Pete. You wanna get Randy's report?
Yes. I can just tell you there is a lot of creative plumbing over in that building that's been done over the years. To have a PVC pipe break in the ceiling, you know, that isn't frozen or whatever is really, it's just a matter of doing plumbing because we don't have to pull building permits with everything that we do. And if our guys aren't directed to do the installation according to the plumbing code or standard waterworks requirements or to get engineering review, a lot of times they were just connected from one point to another. And in many cases we do see the repercussions of that. And this was one of those situations. I don't know when this was installed or why it was installed the way that it was, but I mean, it's just kind of a bummer when those things break and take down part of the new ceiling, but that is being dealt with now. Dealt with the lighting on the property, and a lot of failed lighting, as you know, with perimeter lighting or with security lighting, the new type of high output LED is most cost efficient, and so now we should be well lit up at night. I haven't seen it at night. I don't know if anybody's driven by since this was done to see how you can see it from the sky or see it from the hilltop, but it's lit up for security purposes and to be able to access it safely when needed at night. In the distribution system, as we've seen at some of the facilities, the tank sites are in a pretty bad state of disrepair. The signboards are pretty well shot. And so anyway, the guys are having to do the manual readings on many things, and we've got problems with some of those site gauges. Not that is really relevant to the report as much here, but we don't have any more flushing going on right now. We've got really, really high demand. We only did the initial flushing to flush the dead-end mains, and there's some documented areas that need to be flushed for water quality, and that's what was done. Continue to address small SCADA issues. And the other thing was with the meters, with the customer end user meters. We continue to have service calls, to go out and either replace a transmitter or troubleshoot or find a problem or double check. And Cindy, I don't know if you've got anything to add about how that's going, but that does seem to continue to take time each month. I'm not saying that it's a huge burden on the staff, but it's certainly much less than manually reading the meters every month by far. But
yeah, we are getting those numbers down and re-looking at them, and we are working on that. But we've also had to send a lot of service requests because it's hotter, people use more water, and then they call you and go, I couldn't use this much water, but yeah. I still send out just to verify, just to make sure that everything is correct. So usually you see a lot of requests start coming this month and the next couple of months, and especially when they start coming up for summer, to the summer homes, and they don't realize how much they can use when they have a lot of people in their home. So Yeah, the service request, but we do have to go out and reread them just to verify that everything's working properly.
You use a meter when you're flushing?
What's that?
Do you use a meter when you're flushing to account for the water that's flowing?
No, they estimate it. I mean, it's possible we do have hydrometers. They're not that much of a flow restriction, but if you're trying to get a peak reading and using a pitot tube or something to get a peak reading of it so that you know what the maximum flow of that hydrant is, you don't want to use a meter just because of the head loss through it. They're more for construction type work.
Is there, I mean, for an educational, I know we're gonna set up, we've talked about setting up a tour of the district for the board, so we understand where everything's at, you know. When we do that, I think it'd be wise if we had a map. And what I'm saying there, not a detailed map, like Jim says, I don't know which well is which. The map be good to, when we go on a tour, so we have something to go by, to plot, okay, here's, we're at this site, right up the road, here's another well, blah, 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 here's our tank sites. But one of the things I think that would help me, because I know that might be the worst, I'm gonna say complainer or agitator, is there anything to prevent us from going on a ride-along with our operations group? Just, you know, kind of, can we just come in and say, I'd like to go for a half a day ride-along so I learn a little bit more about the challenges of the district? I mean, or do I have to go through you to make that happen? I mean, I'm just asking so I know what, or can I just come down and say, hey, can I ride along for a couple hours and see the challenges they face? Because I'd like to see what goes on, like when they do the plant too, you know, I'll say make sure the water quality is there, what's entailed, what's there, so I get that. Because I mean, I understand the water process, but I've never been on that side of the fence.
Right.
Is there, do you have any concerns about us doing that, or I don't know if anybody else is interested, but I wouldn't mind spending some of my time to become better educated.
I think it is a board policy decision on how the board wants to approach going on site visits and going on ride-alongs and going on tours. The reason I say that is just because you might have individual board members that want to do it once every couple of weeks and want to get involved in the engineering side of it and the how-tos. And I'm not saying you, Danny, at all. It's just,
No.
But just let me know. I mean, just so that I know in case I've got Randy assigned to something special.
Okay.
Hey, this week I'm gonna.
Yeah, well, what I'll do is I'll send you a note, I'll put it on for the next meeting, we can make a determination of how we want to proceed. I'll just do that, so that way everybody has a chance for their input. I just was curious about that, so, okay. So,
And this question will probably be more for Cindy because she brought up the meters. I know when we originally contracted that company to come out here and look at, we had about 95 meters that were, if my numbers are right, we paid him X amount of dollars to come out here. What is our number, what would you say our number is down to with faulty meters now? I mean.
I would need to take a look at it,
Okay.
but I think we had it down to about 15 or 20.
Oh, so it's down significantly.
It's
That's
very
good.
much down.
Okay.
What we did, I actually worked with one particular person so we could kind of not have it all over the place.
Sure.
And I was running reports of who had zero consumption for more than, several months. He actually went out physically, read the meters, made sure that all those reads that I got in for that billing was correct. So we've been able to narrow most of them down.
Okay.
And then, as we get some calls coming in, we're still looking at those. So I have a better idea by the next billing, but that's how we're kind of working that. And then we talked, I had a conversation with Randy that we may want to do that on a quarterly or 6-month basis where I run a report if anyone's got zero for, so many months.
Gotcha.
And that means that, maybe the wires are,
Right.
goes,
It's proactive. It's a proactive approach.
Yeah.
So, no, that's good. That was money well spent.
And you would also just be surprised that, when we got so much rain and stuff this winter, every now and then you will find someone's meter box just got slammed with so much rock and stuff, and it would take those wires, and, we found a couple, that we're not registering because that wire, the rocks and stuff, it just,
Shoot it off.
yeah, it wasn't anything with the customer or
Yeah,
anything.
okay, good.
Like, we're not having difficulty with them disconnecting, but just that.
95 to 15 is a good, that's a doggone good jump.
Yeah, I
Look
have
at
to
the
look at that again, so don't hold me to that
No,
number.
no, I
but,
won't, but it's a significant drop. We have a significant drop.
Yeah.
So can I ask, what's the accuracy on these? I mean, how often do you get a question about the accuracy of these readings?
Are you asking me how often do I get, are they reading properly?
Yes.
I will tell you that when we go out and test a meter, the meter is working properly. If we get something where it's not, then we reprogram the handheld where maybe it didn't take. Or there's, you know, like I said, you know, maybe if the wire got broken or something. But, you know,
How often does it come up where somebody challenges it?
challenges whether or not their meter read is correct. That's every month.
Every month.
That's a lot of the office, yes. That is
Really?
just, yeah. And I can tell you, it's been since I started working here. That's just part of the business. When people get their bill every month. Yeah,
Thank you.
It is everywhere.
it is. It's just, it's almost just standard. We know. I put out the billing, okay, they got it. This one, you know, then we start getting payments, and then we start getting those calls. And then it'll slow down, and then we get them towards the end of the month when they say, well, I couldn't use that, I don't want to pay this bill. So it's like it's almost like a,
Are these regular customers, they're the same ones, or are they different each time?
not always, not always. No, it's usually different, because then what happens is when we get that back, you know, we make notes on the account that we had gone out there and make what it is. And then if it is something that's overread or underread, then they go ahead and reprogram it. I redo, you know, everything in the computer, and then if it's one that's quite a bit, then I also tag that and have Leslie to keep an eye on it for several months. She's got, you know, I have her, you know, monitoring certain ones. Or if I do think that someone has, you know, maybe messed with the meter, unplugged or something, I tag those and I have her, you know, you notify me if this works.
Thank you.
Moving on. Next item is the approval of consent agenda, which includes the treasurer's report and approval of